Hey everyone, this is Scott from the Forgot to Grow podcast. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching, a series of unfortunate events. Today I'm talking about Season 2, Episode 6, The Vile Village Part 2. So I just finished rewatching this episode, and I had a lot of fun with this episode like I did with the last episode. It was unfortunate it has to start with, the death, or the news of the death of Count Olaf, but in this case it was actually Jacques Snicket, which I still am sad about. I talked about in the last video, but it was sad again in this one because we actually see his body, and that just means I can't leave it up to maybe he got away, maybe it was pretend, but no, we saw the body. He seems to be dead. Yeah, so poor Lemony Snicket. So yeah, I'm still upset about that. But yeah, in this episode we get a few more things. We get the orphans breaking out of jail because, they're able to do a thing that apparently the grown-ass man wasn't able to do himself, meaning Jacques Snicket. 3 children can. Guy who is part of a secret organization couldn't. Anyways, but yeah, that was cool for them, the way they broke out. I like the poems that we did get a few of them in the first one, and now we get a couple more in this one. The poems that from the Quagmires to help lead them to lead the Baudelaires to where they're being hidden, which is in the crow statue. So that was a cool little thing. I remember that from the books in particular, because I remember that being a big part of the books, the mystery of they get a lot more of the letters throughout the book, or a lot more of the poems throughout the book, and it kind of adds up, and it's such a mystery throughout the book. I really remember that because I remember being very how did I not put statue together? Damn it. They mentioned statue so many times in this episode, in the book, and in this episode you see it a bunch of times, and you just never think to be maybe it could open up, but because who thinks of that? Who knows that statues open up? Why does that statue have that feature? Why does it have the ability to store things in it? I've never seen a statue like that. Is that a special order thing? Is that a VFD thing? I don't know, but it was a cool part of it anyways. We also get in this birthday, we find out that it's Klaus's birthday, which I thought was a nice little tiny detail that we kind of learned about the progression of time a little bit through the show, getting a little bit of an idea that it's been less than a year since the last time, all these events have occurred, even though it seems like longer because we're watching a TV show and it can't quite keep up like a book can. Because with a book you can kind of backtrack. But it was kind of a cool little thing for them to mention, and I think that was also in the books as well, if I remember correctly, or the book as well. But yeah, another thing I noticed in this one that I liked was Olaf pulls out a spyglass, same as VFD spyglass. I'm not sure if I've seen him have one in the show before, but I like that he brought it out to take a look at the hot air balloon. But I thought that was a cool little thing. It's we used to got one, eh? And it's ooh, we learned in the last episode, or one of the last episodes, that thing can be used to heat up stuff and it lights stuff on fire. So yeah, it kind of drops some more hints as to what led the Baudelaires to being in this situation, being that their parents died in a fire, but what started that fire? It's a mystery that we keep getting little hints to that maybe we solve eventually. I don't know. I'll have to get to season 3 to find that out. So another thing I liked about this episode was that we get Jacqueline and Larry showing up trying to save the day, but as always, not quite being able to help the Baudelaires enough. They help a little bit, but not as much as they could. Again, I feel like they need to come in with a little bit more. They're very prepared with literary quotes. Maybe they should have brought some authority figures with them as opposed to try to convince Bob to not be crazy. It's a kid's book. Anyways, I love seeing those characters pop up and have their goofy antics. What else do we see? Larry maybe grew up in VFD. It seemed like that was a little thing he dropped, which was an interesting little fact. It seems like every character that's been mentioned in this series, anybody who has ever had a connection to the Baudelaires or VFD, has seemed to have lived in every city that the Baudelaires have moved to, which is a little strange, or visited those places a lot of times. This seems like a very tiny world, which makes sense when you look at the sewer system. It seems like this whole world is 4 blocks wide, but with the exception of VFD being a little further out. But that's just, again, part of the fictional universe that we have to live with. But I still enjoy it nonetheless. And then at the end we get Sonny driving them away, which I think was just a fun little thing, you know. Why is the baby driving? I don't remember if that was in the books or not as well, but I do vaguely remember that the Quagmires did escape with Hector in the books as well in this, so that was a nice little nod. Hopefully in the next season we get the Quagmires coming back and they get a reunion, but I can't remember exactly if that happens. It might even happen in the next couple episodes and I've already forgotten, but hopefully we get to that eventually. But that's everything I had for this episode in this book. Be sure to let me know in the comments below if there's anything I got wrong about the connection between this show and the book, or anything from the book that you thought might be interesting. But thanks again for joining me today, and have a good one.